I don't have a super long-term goal. We'll see what happens. I think most people that are like very new to stuff and they're like, I'm gonna be the best. In most cases, they're just talking out of their ass. Because a lot of these people don't truly understand like the time and effort required to even get close. And it's so hard to know if you truly want something until you get to experience like when things gets very, very hard. Like when you're new to a game and you get PB like every single day, like of course, like that's very like rewarding and it's fun. You always feel the improvement so easily. But when things gets hard, that's like when true motivation and true willpower comes in to the equation. So basically, working towards a goal, right? I mean, I do think there is cases of someone that like very early on feel that they want to become the best at something, and that's genuine all the way through. But I feel like most people, when they're like, oh, I want to become the best in the world at this, they have played the game or the sport or whatever it might be for like a day, and it's like very often it's not actually the case. Like I think it's more people have the idea that they wanna be the best, but they don't want to become the best. And want to become the best is that you also want the entire process of getting there. And I think a lot of people, when they're new to something, that they don't understand time and effort required, sacrifices along the way. Because as we have talked about earlier, like when you're new to something, it's always the easiest to improve, right? Because you start off as a scrub and improving is easy. Let's say you do speedrunning, you get new records all the time. Everything just feels so easy, rewarding. Getting a new PB gets you hyped up, for example. But like the better you get, the harder it is to take each new step. And that's like what will separate a lot of people. Like when you need to like actually not only work very hard, but also work very smart. That's where a lot of these people will be like phased out. They don't feel like it's worth the time. They don't feel like it's worth the effort. Or they come up with excuses like, oh, I don't have the talent. Even though they haven't worked hard at all. For a lot of these people, it's more like that instant reward is not there any longer, and then it's not as fun any longer. And I mean, I'm not trying to say that people, like everyone that play a game or a sport, have to try to become the best. I mean, for me with this game, I don't even know what I want. I'm just playing because I do think it's fun for now, and I'll see what happens, right? Because a lot of people ask me like, oh, are you aiming for world record? I mean, I think due to my history in Melee, I have like a rough idea of what it takes. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, I've never done that mistake. But yeah, I think I have a rough idea of what it could take to reach the top in this game. But even then, it would only be a rough idea, since I actually haven't played this game for that long.
Dear Mario, please come to
and yeah, I don't actually know if I want to like truly get up there. Maybe I do, maybe I do not. But it's too early to tell. It's too early to tell. And I do think, as I said, that's the case for a lot of people. The whole process of becoming the best, that's not nearly as appealing as being the best. But there is like no shortcut. If you want to be the best, you have to become the best. And that process phases out most people. What kind of sacrifices would you need? I mean, it depends. It depends. In some areas, like with sports, for example, or a competition, you might need to like move to new locations. You might have to leave people behind you. Like, not behind you in the sense of like never seeing them again, but it can be new environments. You might have to like skip out on a lot of other social things that would be fun. I mean, I had a lot of things when I traveled for Melee. That was a lot of like things I wanted to attend, like in Sweden, but you know, practice, tournaments, all of that, it kept me from like, going to all these things. So I had to like pick, right? And I've met a lot of people that are like, you know, I don't have the time to get better at this part. But then it's like they pick other things. And it's nothing wrong with like picking other things. But for a lot of these people, it's not like they don't have the time. It's that they choose to prioritize it elsewhere. And it's nothing wrong with that. But I think like that's why and how a lot of these excuses easily comes up. You know, I don't have the time, I don't have the talent, and it's not really looking at like what can you do to actually like improve further. If that's what you want, right? Again, that's like wanna become the best is something very, very few want. Like some people, they want like all the rewards, right? The feeling of being the best. Sometimes that means like fame, money, other things that might motivate people. Like that's what they want, but they don't want the process of becoming the best. I mean, there is some people that might be incredibly busy due to like various factors, but for the most part, in my experience, it's an excuse for the most part. Yeah. It's also common that, yeah, people get to see, like, the tip of the iceberg. They get to see, like, their favorite players or whatever. They see them when it's already, like, not a finished product or finished player, but they get to see, like, when so much of the hard work is already done. What about the people who put in the time but don't work smart? What should they do? I mean, if you truly don't know how to work smarter, I mean, there are experts in every field. There are resources you can take part of. Like, if you take Smash, for example, you have people that do coaching, for example. But a lot of people would never, you know, consider trying to get a coach. They might not feel like it's worth it. It's not worth their time. It's not worth their resources. So I mean, that could be one example. If it's speedrunning and your time sucks, there are resources, faster strats that you can learn. You have resources that show you how fast you do it compared to like the player you compare yourself to. Like speedrunning, I would say, is for the most part much more like black and white answers. But yeah, you gotta be willing to like put in the effort there. So with speedrunning, I would say it's a bit more black and white due to like this strat is faster, it saves this much. In Smash, it's like a little bit more gray since you play against like another human. But yeah, there is still guides, coaches, and now with online, people have more access to like playing as people, even if you live in like shitty regions. I mean, I've done like a lot of set reviews in Melee. Like, not for a long time, but I have done set reviews to help people. But that's like, most people would never consider paying for a set review because it's not like instant reward in the sense of like, I'm handing you over a piece of candy and you get to eat it right away. You still need to like, you know, be present, listen to everything, and actually try to apply these things. Now I know some people say like people don't, I don't have the money to spend on that, on like you coaching me or someone else coaching you. I mean, there is some people where that is legit the case, but again, for most people, I feel like that wouldn't really be the case. Especially like okay, to be fair, right now a pandemic has been going on, still going on. People have lost their jobs, but I mean, people have still had the same type of mentality for a long time. But some people do hire people to coach them and stuff, and a lot of people have, you know, it have helped them out. I know I had IBDW. He came to me being very weak in the Marth matchup as Fox. This was like probably 3 years ago. He paid me for one set review, and very, very quickly after, he considered Marth his best matchup next to Puff. And it was like his worst matchup of the top characters. And yeah. He basically invested $30, and then the next week or two, he was beating like multiple high-ranked Marths, and actually made way more than the money back. I mean, in the early day with like coaches and stuff, that obviously was harder. That those type of resources were not really out there. Which is part of the reason why people say that, in a sense, it's easier than ever to like get into melee and get good at melee, because the resources are there, right? But I mean, they're there for everyone else too, so that's also like, it's hard at the same time. But for me, I pretty much try to be my own coach, analyze my own matches, figure out why am I losing, you know, certain interactions, what can I do instead. Try to find my own habits that I fall into without even thinking about it. So yeah, I pretty much try to be my own coach and be very aware of everything I do. And even if I won neutral interactions, I still always try to understand how a better player might have made me lose the same situation. If people offer you money for coaching sessions, would you do it? I mean, it depends. It depends. Set reviews tends to be more easy in one sense for me to do, and I have done in the past quite a bit, but now it's been a long time. There is some outliers on sets I have analyzed and gone over that got a lot of views, but for the most part, that type of content gets very low views. I mean, I think the biggest reason is that there isn't, relatively speaking, that many people that care enough about improving. In the sense of like trying to become super good. But I mean, to be fair, I think that's always the case in like all type of like communities, in a sense. That it's always going to be more people watching. Like a lot of content, like if you do like set reviews, for example, like most people, they are, and it's nothing wrong with that, but most people, they don't really super care about getting super good. And as I said, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're honest with what you want, and I think that's more important. The bigger issue is when people are like, I want to be the best, but then their actions don't reflect that whatsoever. That can be very annoying. But if you go to tournaments and you know that you don't really care that much, it's not like you're actively trying to get worse at the game. It's not the competitive or improvement aspect that is the most important, then it's good that you know that. But you have a lot of people that would never even consider any of the stuff I do say, but at the same time, they will be like, I want to be the best.